Bro, there are 1,000 bugs right now. This week was the 1-bit game jam, where you have to make a game in 7 days, but with only 2 colors. However, I found this jam with around 4 days left, so I guess I'm starting with half the competition already over. That should be fine, right? It's not like I've only been learning Unity for 2 months. This is going to be one of the most stressful things I've ever done.
Why are we still here?
Well, okay, I just signed up, so now let's open a new Unity project and start working. To start, the first thing I added in any 2D game is a square. Bam. There we go, looking good, practically done. Not really. For my game, I kind of need an idea. I'm not great with ideas. In fact, I'm not great with anything to be honest, but my idea came up to be a sword that dashes, swings, and shoots bullets. Anyways, I drew a sword pixel art, which I gotta say, yeah, kinda sucks, but yeah, it works okay, shut up. I programmed some basic movement and added it to my player, and turns out pretty nice. It's working pretty nice, I said.
Why are we still here?
Well, that bug took way too long. Anyways, with the basic WASD movement down, I also wanted the player to rotate and face the mouse, which I kinda just... That's some nice code? My code. Okay, back to working. The next thing I wanted to add was a dash effect, and it only took 30 minutes, and I was super happy about it. However, now my friends and I are going to watch Oppenheimer, a movie I think. Don't go with friends to watch Oppenheimer, guys. It doesn't help your game jam. When I came back, it was already 10 at night basically, so I kinda just went to bed. However, it's morning now, so let's keep working and fix the 1,000 errors in my code. Because school starts tomorrow for me, yes bro, I still have school, screw school, I had to
Rev up those fryers!
and get working. After a Brachy's tutorial on animators, I made an easy swing animation. I know, everything looks bad, but yeah, I'm low on time, man. Also, if you were wondering, the background is a tile map and there's a white border, as I was too dumb to figure out how to create infinite generation. Yeah. Now my plan was to add an enemy, and I also drew that myself, hence why it looks like a monkey. But that's no biggie, as my grandmother once said, monkeys, I don't know. Okay, back to working. I programmed the monkey to follow my player, and yeah, there we go. To kill the monkey, I used something called an on trigger, which detects collisions and will destroy the enemy if the player is dashing or if its health falls below 100. I used the take damage function and assigned a damage of 34 to a swing and 10 to a bullet. So dashing is the best attack, but there is a 4-second cooldown. There was like another 1,000 bugs that I'm not gonna bore you with the details, but towards the end of the day, I kind of had a working game, because slash, shoot, and dash the enemy, and they all worked pretty well. I created some free sound effects and added them, as well as some copyright-free music to just make the game more lively. Lastly, before hitting the set, I added an I enumerator, don't ask me what that is, to spawn enemy every second so the game is infinite. This is where the game jam started stressing me out big time. The first 2 days were fine. I worked a few hours each day, but school has started, and that means more than half of my day was spent at school, and I swear to God, my math teacher gave me homework on the first day of school. Like, who does that, bro? Uncool. At this point in the game jam, I scratched off my fancy ideas like adding post-processing for the first time, infinite levels, and just focused my brain on my 2 ideas. Power-ups and a main menu / desk screen. I decided to spend day 3 making the power-up system with around 2 hours till 11, aka when I usually go to bed. I set up some rudimentary ideas like extra bullets, dash cooldown, and swing damage. I used another I enumerator. Someone tell me what that means. To give you a power-up every 7 or 8 seconds. I finally learned and used static variables a lot, which I haven't had the chance to use before. There were way too many bugs, but I squashed them all like bugs. Around 11:10, I saved my project and literally fell asleep pretty much instantly, lol. My school starts at 8:30, but I set my alarm at 6 a.m. and hid my computer in my closet literally so that I can finish a little more code before heading to school. From 6 to 7, I grinded like a Giga Chad and set up a main menu that I gotta say looks pretty bad. Additionally, I added an enemy's kill text on your screen as well as a health bar that I found on Bracky's tutorial. School and sports took up most of the day, but by the time I opened my project again, it was already 8:30 p.m. and this was when I almost legit had a heart attack. I was just checking out my assets when I accidentally deleted my prefabs folder, which basically is everything in my game. I was absolutely panicking, but turns out you could just restore them from the recycle bin. After that nightmare, I created a death screen that leads back to the main menu or with the key that restarts the game. With around 8 hours to the deadline at 6 a.m., I set up my game page and submitted it to the game jam. Overall, I learned a lot about game jams as this is my first one, as well as Unity in general, as this is like my 5th project. The voting hasn't ended yet, but once it does, I'll post the results in the description and comments below. For me to do any other cool projects, comment down below, and also roast my bad game and play it, link in the description. I don't have much else to talk about, so peace.